So earlier in 2015, I made a video saying that the LG G3 was the best budget smartphone that you can buy. Now, I would like to retract that statement and enter the era of the OnePlus X. So what's going on, guys? It's Breadleaf Tech coming back at it with another video, and today we're going to be putting the LG G3 and the OnePlus X in a head-to-head smartphone fight to the death. Now, this comparison may not be very fair towards the LG G3, as it came out in late 2014 and the OnePlus X came out in late 2015. However, they have very similar specs and it's a very close matchup. And to keep things at least somewhat fair here, I'm going to be listing the LG G3's initial price off of contract and its current price off of contract. So just to get some specs thrown at you guys, each of these phones rock the Snapdragon 801 processor, with the OnePlus X clocked in at 2.3 GHz and the G3 clocked at 2.5 GHz. Now, they both have the Adreno 330 GPU and also both run Android Lollipop, with the OnePlus X having a slightly newer version at 5.1.1 and the G3, its latest software update was 5.0.2. So now, why don't we take a look at the displays on these guys. The G3 has a 5.5-inch Quad HD IPS display with a pixel density of 538 ppi. On the flip side, the OnePlus X has a 5-inch 1080p HD AMOLED display with a pixel density of 441 ppi. So I've taken this smartphone battle to the great outdoors that I thought was going to be a bit warmer, so I'm actually going to go run over and grab a jacket because it's kind of cold. So when I initially bought the LG G3, one thing that I noticed was that it was somewhat difficult to see the screen outdoors, and that is because it uses IPS technology, which makes it more difficult to see outdoors. Whereas the OnePlus X, on the other hand, uses AMOLED technology, and there's a car behind me, which uses AMOLED technology, which is much easier to view outdoors. In terms of the build quality between these two guys, there has to be a clear winner, and that's got to go to the OnePlus X. With a glass front and back and a metal band around the phone, it may seem somewhat reminiscent of an old iPhone. However, it is a very premium design for the price tag. The G3, on the other hand, has a very plasticky design that feels somewhat cheap. However, that allows you to remove the back cover and swap out that massive 3000 mAh battery. The OnePlus X has a much smaller 2525 mAh battery. However, I got solid battery life using the phone from medium to heavy usage, and I got consistently 2.5 hours of screen on time a day. So to touch on the cameras of these two guys, both of these phones have a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera, but there is also another clear winner in this category, and that has to go with the LG G3. With that 13 megapixel, it is able to record in 4K, and it also has optical image stabilization, which is something the OnePlus X lacks. The OnePlus X maxes out video recording at 1080p, and just overall is not a very great camera. The LG G3 is much better in highlights and lowlights, whereas the OnePlus X suffers once that lighting is dropped. And I will put some sample shots in this video for you guys to take a look and see how these two cameras compare to each other. In terms of the software experience on these two phones, it's basically all subjective. You may like what LG has done with Android and their skin, and I'd have to call you pretty well crazy if you do, because the software on the G3 is clunky, slow, and ugly. With the OnePlus X, you get a nearly stock version of Android with some added features, like being able to set the entire device to a system-wide dark mode to take advantage of that AMOLED display. It has features like an ambient display that allow you to view your notifications and the time by just simply waving your hand over the phone, which saves you from having to turn on the device itself. It also has a 3-stage alert slider that allows you to toggle between no notifications, priority notifications, and all notifications. The G3 has some useful features like a split screen mode that allows you to view 2 apps at once. However, the features and user experience are unmatched to the OnePlus X. So now it is time to take a look at everyone's favorite part of buying something, the price. The LG G3, as of today, costs $299 off of contract. However, when it came out back in October of 2014, this guy was $599 unlocked for the 32GB model, which I have here. And the OnePlus X, as of October 2015, costs $250 off of contract. For this type of build quality and this type of experience, I have to give this to the OnePlus X definitely the better bang for your buck in this case. So to end off this video, I have to give the winner to this to the OnePlus X, and that was an easy decision for me. This phone is cheaper, has a higher build quality with that glass and metal. You've got similar specs to the G3. In my opinion, a better display. And OnePlus has really rewritten the definition of a budget smartphone and has the OnePlus X becoming the winner of this smartphone boxing match.